Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
Folks, with Deadpool and Wolverine hitting the big screen, it is the perfect time to catch up with the Merc with a Mouth and revisit 2018's David Leitch directed Deadpool 2. The film is a direct follow-up to 2016's Deadpool and continues the misadventures of Wade Wilson and his ragtag team of mutants, bartenders, and blind roommates. Only this time, we're introduced to even more characters and even more action. But the big question is, how does this movie hold up? Well, let's find out in today's episode of Marvel Revisited. Deadpool 2 follows Wade as he seeks to find a way to bring his beloved Vanessa back to life after a hit gone wrong. Along the way, Wade will need the help of one of our personal favorite X-Men here on the channel, Cable. Cable, played by Josh Brolin, is essential to Wade's plan as he has the distinct ability to travel through time, something that may come in handy for a guy who just lost his girlfriend. Their paths cross when Cable arrives in Deadpool's timeline and is hunting for a young mutant named Russell, played by Julian Dennison, who is prophesized to be the downfall of Cable's future. Pretty serious stuff, huh? Well, you'll be happy to know that Deadpool 2 not only raises the stakes, but it also kicks up the comedy, the action, and of course, the classic Deadpool fourth wall breaks.
They can't just dust off one of the famous X-Men. How about that Potts with the giant pigeon wings? What do those do anyway, huh? Carry him 3 feet off the ground to snatch up the nearest muffin crumb?
Now, while many might say that Deadpool 2 is pretty good but ultimately inferior to its predecessor, I respectfully disagree. I think Deadpool 2 is actually better than the original and in almost every single way. I mean, think of it this way. What did we love about Deadpool? It was bloody and violent, it was funny, it was raunchy, it broke the fourth wall, and above everything else, it was accurate. Before we continue with our video, here's a reminder to click the store tab on any of our JoBlo channels and browse our collection of the latest and freshest designs in our merch store. Go get you some. Deadpool 2 is bloody and violent, check. Hilarious? Check. Raunchy? Check. And how about that oh so important comic book accuracy? Well, that's a big fat check. It does everything you would want a Deadpool movie to do, and it does everything that the first one did. Only better. See, Deadpool was so special because we as an audience spent years anticipating what it could be, and when we finally got it and it lived up to everything we expected, it solidified itself as one of the best. But the lore behind the scenes of Deadpool 2 was less of an underdog story and more of typical sequel stuff. So when this movie was a success, it was less satisfying of a victory. But with fresh eyes and after all these years, Deadpool 2 is clearly funnier, has better action, and better characters in general. It's literally the Deadpool movie that we all deserve. The film opens with a montage of Deadpool trying to kill himself while narrating the opening exposition directly to the audience before seeing him slaughter a bunch of thugs and tell us that this is a family film. Yeah, we're already off to a good start. The opening action scene is also entertaining, just like the first movie. We see Deadpool ripping through these bad guys while cracking jokes and giving us plenty of stunts to chew on. It just seems like the confidence in this movie was dialed all the way up, which makes sense given the $1 billion that the first one made. The returning cast is great here with Marina Baccarin, Karan Soni, Brianna Hildebrand, and even Randall Reeder as Buck. Reynolds, as usual, owns the role, and once again delivers a performance that is perfectly suited to his comedic sensibilities. But it's the new cast here that deserves a little bit of praise. We get the iconic Josh Brolin as Cable, who perfectly brings the character's serious and stoic demeanor to life. Also, there's a great joke about him playing Thanos in the MCU in this movie.
Zip it, Thanos, we have a deal and you fuck.
Hey. Julian Dennison as Fire Fist is also a great turn for the young actor, and who could forget the legendary performance of Zazie Beetz as Domino. We also get cameos from Terry Crews, Bill Skarsgård, Rob Delaney, Brad Pitt, which counts, and even Matt Damon, who is credited as Redneck Number 2. The action is also dialed up with more super-powered characters sharing the screen, allowing for more visual displays of their abilities. The opening action is great, and so is the scene following Vanessa's death when Wade chases down her killer. It is good shit, true believers. Not to mention the whirlwind of action we're in for after Wade's mission begins. There's a pretty epic jailbreak, complete with a hilarious scene of Wade rolling like hell down a mountain, and my favorite action scene, which sees Domino's powers of good luck come into handy during a car chase / rescue mission. It is a fun scene, it is a funny scene, and it is incredibly entertaining. As for the story, I think it's just about as generic as the story of Deadpool, but once again it plays off of that by packing in funny and interesting elements like time travel, cameos, and hilarious jokes. I mean, seeing Deadpool in a cut-off X-Men sporting jersey is pure gold, and a nice way to get him in some sort of X-Men uniform, or should we call it X-Force?
Isn't that a little derivative?
I don't recall asking your opinion, Peter.
Deadpool and Russell make for an interesting dynamic as well, proving to be an effective hero and sidekick dynamic, but also kind of flipping that idea on its head, with Russell being the more mature of the two. Dennison and Reynolds make a good team, and I hope to see them together again on the big screen soon. I also enjoy the ending relationship of Cable and Deadpool, which finally mends the beef and becomes the wholesome family dynamic that we all wanted to see. Sort of. For me, the movie not only delivers on being a great sequel, but in my opinion, it takes everything that we liked from the original and gives us more to sit with and be entertained by. So for me, Deadpool 2 is a solid 8 out of 10 on the rewatch. This movie still tickles me in that very special way. Okay, that sounded wrong. I'm sorry. Good night.